What's going on, people? Today I want to talk about Proverbs 3:5. So, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. This proverb for me is quite, I guess it's hitting home a lot recently for myself. I'm kind of in a period now in my life, I'll just be brutally honest. Like, I am having to lean heavily on God. Have to really lean on him. So just to give you a bit of a backstory, I guess I'm 30 years old, and 7 months ago I got told that I was going to need a kidney transplant. And since then, my kidney function has consistently declined. And now I'm closing in on, I haven't had to have dialysis yet, but I'm closing in on that period. And I believe that I'm probably going to end up needing it. And this was something, when I got told that I was going to need a transplant, my number one thing was, I will do the transplant, whatever, I'll do whatever I need to do, but do not let me get on dialysis, right? And unfortunately, bearing a miracle, which we are always praying for, it doesn't look like that's going to be the case, right? And it looks like I'm going to have to go down that route. And I've been really questioning a lot of things as to why this is actually happening, why this is happening to me. I look around me, I'm the only one really that's ill in terms of my friends. I know I'm not the only person alive that's ill, of course not, but you look around in your own circle and you think, wow, like, I just turned 30 last month. Why do I need a kidney transplant already? Like, why am I going through this? And it's quite, excuse me, it's quite difficult to actually accept, because it doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense as to why this is happening, or why I'm having to go through it. Why couldn't it be somebody else? But I guess, why couldn't it be me? Why wouldn't it be me? It's just the same question. But yeah, as I read Proverbs, I try to read Proverbs quite often, just because I just love it. I just really enjoy it. And this proverb really has been coming forward, not just when I've been reading, but kind of throughout my days, when I'm praying, and I'm quite open and honest with God, that I'm not happy about this situation. I mean, who would be? Who would be really enjoying this? But this proverb just keeps coming up, and I think, it's not going to make sense. It's not going to make sense to me at all, and it might not make sense for me for 20 years. God willing, I get another 20 years, but it might not make sense to me until I'm stood before God and I see his plan, and why, this needed to happen, and one of my friends from church said, no matter what happens, God will be glorified in this. And that is the whole point, I guess. Like, I guess my weakness right now, maybe in people seeing my weakness and seeing how low this is getting me, and to see, hopefully, what I hope to see is a future of good health, people will see that it wasn't me that just got through that. And the reality is, like, everybody's going to have health problems, man. Like, you can't avoid it. Everyone's going to have a battle. This just happens to be mine, and it's just happening a lot earlier than what I would have either liked or anticipated. But regardless of the circumstances, you've got to trust, right? You've got to, and I'm speaking to myself as well right now. Like, you got to trust that the all-knowing, all-loving God who wants the best for you and has plans for a future where you prosper and have a good life, you know, you've got to trust that that God will complete his work and that you'll come out the other side of it, you know. I don't understand the situation that I'm in right now. I don't understand why this is happening to me. And I've wasted a lot of time trying to understand why, you know, and I think it's kind of pointless, to be honest with you. I mean, what difference would it make if we did know, you know? If God revealed to us the path that we had to go down, we probably wouldn't want to go down it. And I know if I knew I had to go down this path maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I wouldn't have been wanting to take the next step forward. But I've got to trust, you know. I've got to trust that God is going to do a work in me and God is with me. And I've got to not lean on my own understanding of the situation and understanding and expectations of the situation, because things aren't panning out the way that I would have liked them to pan out. And it might be the same in your life. Things might not be panning out the way that you wanted them to pan out. It might not be, things might not be going your way, and you might not be understanding of why this is even happening to you or why these things are happening. But we just got to trust, you know. We just got to trust. We know the God that we believe in. We know the God that we worship. We know who he is. So we got to trust in him. And it's hard, you know, it is hard. And I think my biggest thing that I've struggled with since coming to faith is trusting him. And is really letting go of, you know, the plans for my life, just giving that up and letting somebody else take control of my life. I've struggled with that since I started coming to faith. And now I struggle with it more. You know, and I feel like maybe this period is what it's all about, is me learning to trust, even in the darkest of days of my life, because this is genuinely the worst thing that I've definitely gone through in terms of just the mental battle that I'm having. Like, I'm trusting that he's going to get me through that. And, you know, we describe Jesus as the good shepherd, right? And, you know, I am very much a lost sheep. So during this time where I don't understand where the shepherd's leading me. I don't understand where I'm going, because it's crazy out here. It's dark, it's raining, it's wet, it's cold. I've got no idea where this path is taking me. You know, there's cliff edges on either side. All I can see is the next step. I can see the next step and the shepherd. And all I can do in that, like, scenario is stay as close to the shepherd as humanly possible so that I don't fall off. And that's what I intend on doing. You know, I intend on staying as close to Jesus as I possibly can throughout this whole situation and whole circumstance, because I know if I stay close to him, he'll get me through. He will get me through. And it's difficult to trust. It's difficult to accept, especially when you don't know and you're blind, you know. We walk by faith, not by sight. And I'm learning that more the hard way. So I hope you don't have to learn it the hard way, because it hurts, you know. But it's true, man. Like, we don't know where we're going, and we've just got to trust that he's leading us, regardless of how it looks at this moment, that he's going to lead us to green pastures. You know, he is the good shepherd, so we just got to keep following him. There's another proverb, I can't remember what it is entirely, so I'm paraphrasing, but it's I'll have to see if I can find it and make an actual video on it, because I love that proverb. But it kind of explains that if God, who is all-knowing, all-loving, the Alpha and Omega, the past, the present, and the future, something that we cannot even comprehend, if he is the one that is in control of our future, then how will we ever understand it? Like, we're never going to understand it. Like, it's impossible. So we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know where the road is going to take us, on what path we're going to have to go down. But we just need to trust him. We need to trust that he's with us. We need to trust that he will not abandon us, nor forsake us, and that he's going to be walking side by side with us through it all. And that's what I intend to do. And, you know, some days are easier than others. So I don't know what the situation might be. You might be financially struggling, or you might be suffering health-wise as well and not understanding. You might have, I don't know, your whole life might have just completely changed and you don't understand what is going on, or what is happening, or why it's happening. And it gets pretty dark out. But what can you do? You know, what can you do? The only thing you can do is trust the shepherd, and trust that he's taking you to the right place. You know, like, just think about that. Just think, if you're a sheep in the middle of a field, it is chucking it down, the wind's blowing, there's hail, there's rain, there's lightning, there's all sorts, but the shepherd is guiding you. You are trusting him to get you somewhere safe. You are trusting him. So you're going to follow him. And that's what I intend to do. You know, it's going to be difficult. I'm struggling with it. You know, it's something that I'm actively having to go through now. But, you know, we just got to keep trusting in the Lord. Trust in the Lord. He will not abandon us nor forsake us. So we've got to keep trusting in him, guys. All right, so that's just a bit of encouragement for you and for myself. You know, I probably need to watch this video and listen to the words myself as well. But lean not on your own understanding, and trust in God. God bless, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.